across the continent. It's called Good Morning Africa. We are broadcasting from Accra in Ghana, across 46 other African countries. And it's always exhilarating and exciting when I get the opportunity to moderate the show every morning. And today is no exception. We're going to be dealing with a number of issues that we've tabled for our conversation. Issues ranging from politics to the economy to social matters will be dealt with here on the morning show. And I'm super excited to be joined in the studios by Audu Ishak, who is gunning to be the new General Secretary of PNC. And I told him the last time that I will invest all my money in his campaign because he is one of the finest young politicians I know in Ghana, who is very truthful, who doesn't follow money, who always speaks the truth. He's not, give me small, make a chop, give me small. No, it's not like that. So I'll support him. And the indefatigable Britchna man is also here seated. Honorable Akufo-Addo. I've not seen him in a long, see the way I said a long time. But I know that he's healthy because I've always been calling bless and asking of Honorable Akufo-Addo because I know that he was bereaved quite recently. And when I was told, I didn't know about it really. And I was told later, I said, how? Who? When? How? They said, oh, my brother, you've not seen the poster. I said, me, poster where? Honorable's driver, Badu. I always used to see him, Badu. That's how Honorable used to call him, Badu. I'm telling Badu. I said, how can Badu just die like that? So, I mean, I was filled with melancholy. I was very, 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 very sad because it was unexpected. Sometimes, people die and all of that, but some deaths, it's inexplicable. So you get confused, you get worried, and all of that. But well, what can we say? Allah knows. So so Honorable, accept me personally my sincere condolence. I didn't know, honestly. I was told later by chairman. So chairman sent me the flyer. He said, Honorable's driver. I said, Honorable's driver, which one? I said, Badu. How? Was Badu ill? He said, he was ill for a little while. And then, so Honorable, please. This one, because I know you've been with him for a long time. And I don't know what to say. So, have they done the funeral? Not yet.
You almost brought tears back.
Yeah, I know. That's for Badu there.
I can remember since my old man departed and I wept a bit. I have not cried like the news that greeted me with Badu's death. I sometimes still find it difficult to come to terms with the fact that he's really gone. This was a fantastic guy, selfless, honest, educated.
Yes.
I mean, I can't find somebody to work with me like that.
No. But Badu was actually literally carrying you. Carrying you on his.
It was a tragic loss.
Oh, Badu.
That ended the year on a sour note for me. But
so it happened last year, actually. Last year.
Yes, on the 24th of December.
You are lying.
Yes. On the
Christmas Eve.
24th Christmas Eve.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Badu, like if for trouble Christmas self with us.
Kwabi. I can only say as a Muslim that that is the will of Allah Almighty. What the Almighty wants, nobody can stop it. So, well, I just keep it like that.
Well, please do let us know of the arrangements.
It should be on the 24th of next month.
Yeah, it has to be on 24th.
Since
you departed on 24th.
Family 7 days and we just finished with that.
The 1 week.
We are preparing,
Oh, Badu. May his soul rest in
May the good Lord
peace.
Accept his soul. Let him rest in peace.
On that sad note, let me welcome you aboard again. Audu Ishak is gunning to be the General Secretary of PNC. In fact, I asked him to contest because I realized that we need a lot more young politicians who are very honest. Because with the kind of politics we are experiencing today, you can't find honest young men, taking over certain positions and ensuring that they serve the nation, from their hearts and in genuineness. So, brother, we are supporting you 100%. 100%.
I'm most grateful. I will also express my sincere condolences to
Yeah,
ABF for saying they say that death is a necessary end, and every soul shall taste death. But like you both have indicated, sometimes you can't come to terms with the circumstances under which some people just die, even though we cannot question the wisdom of God. But as human as we are, we would always express such sadness over such situations, and may the soul of our brother find eternal rest.
Thank you very much.
And may Honorable ABF Hussein be able to find the strength, and we pray that he gets somebody to work with, because no matter what, you must necessarily work with another person, and we pray that you are able to deal with this tragic loss.
Thank you very much, Audishak. You didn't speak about the position I asked you to guard for.
Kwame, you know that I've always said that I am coming into this position simply because I think that I have sacrificed and dedicated myself to the cause of the PNC.
You don't need to say, we have to say
I joined the PNC in 2002. I was elected Deputy Constituency Secretary in 2007. I was elected Upper West Regional Secretary in 2011. I became National Youth Organizer in 2015. And as I speak to you, I'm National Communications Secretary. And I'm not sure that anybody would doubt our prowess, anybody would doubt the sense of commitment, the sense of dedication, and the selflessness with which we serve the cause of the PNC. And I know that across the country, the people who have associated with our politics know what we can do. And I have no doubt in my mind that with your support and the kind support of everybody else, especially the executives and the delegates of the PNC, this is a position that we are coming to use, to elevate, to better the fortunes of the PNC.
Honorable, quick point on that.
Audu Ishak is, like we just said, one of the finest young guys on our political landscape today. I can say that without any iota of hesitation or doubt. And I'm not saying it because he's here. He said that the fine good sells itself. In terms of commitment to PNC, like he himself just started saying, from the very beginning as a grassroots campaigner, rising through the ranks of the parties, from the branch level to the constituency, now to the national. I believe he has more than paid his dues. And like we said, in these days where it is fashionable for people to see politics as the safest opportunistic avenue for making something and getting away, he has not anchored his belief on making material wealth, but to serve not only the PNC, but Ghana. His very commitment to ensuring that the good people of this country realize the benefits of governance has manifested in so many ways, not only on platforms like this where he makes his expertise and his talents available, but even when it calls for people to rise up and stand up for critical issues of the nation. I've seen him, I've encountered him on many demonstrations where he's been at the forefront of governing the youth to express their indignation about how this country is being run down. Many occasions. So this guy is a fine gem. I have no iota of belief that all of us who have known him, Kwame, let us form a coalition to support him to get this done. And I want to pray to Allah Almighty. Allah in his infinite wisdom has said that the one who upholds the truth and is also patient, these two qualities, Allah says he will reward whoever has those qualities. And I believe he has manifested those qualities. And I pray to Allah Almighty that the day will dawn when he will come. And if you see currently, I don't see anybody in the PNC today gunning for that position who has sacrificed more for the party and for this country more than what this young man has done. And
I agreed. In fact, yesterday I met with Yirimambo. I saw Yirimambo. We had a brief chat and I told him, oh, your brother is contesting to be the general secretary. So Even though I don't have money, I'll support. Even the way he said it, I'll ask for Ishak. Oh, Ishak, he has to
household.
Anyway, let me introduce the topics to you so that at least you have an idea of what we are discussing this morning. South African politician Pamels Akufo-Addo over IMF World Bank dictates. I'm sure it is in respect of the program that I moderated. Yeah. Julius Malema's visit to Ghana. You know, it was an honor to actually moderate that dialogue. TUC gives government 7-day ultimatum to withdraw electricity tax. EC proposes November for general elections. Return to Silada pass money in 72 hours. Court orders OSP. Now, there's a story which hasn't been captured, but which I find very interesting, and I do not understand why that story has surfaced. And it is important that we deal with all these rather tangential, but also distorting, matters. The fact of a minister, chieftaincy minister, okay, asking for an investigation into the demise of former President John Evans Atta, because of the John, no, please, John Evans Attamil's death, is what I find very intriguing, right? And I think it is important that we deal with that, even though it's irrelevant. To be honest with you, I think it is irrelevant. It has no material connection to the sufferings we are going through. But also, it is important that when people misbehave, you try and bring them on a proper trajectory. So it is important. We'll touch on that. And then we'll still continue, because we have a lot of, today, in fact, I will cede my time so that we deal with all the other issues. But let's go to South Africa. In fact, Ghana, South Africa, where Julius Malema was quick to criticize Nana Akufo-Addo and his government. And I think he largely blamed it on corruption, and the fact that corruption has been the bane of Ghana's development. The fact that, this government appears to be involved all the time with borrowing money here and there, which monies are not put to good use. So he says that, we'll continue to go to IMF so long as we are unable to manage our finances well. And of course, it's Akufo-Addo who is in government, so Akufo-Addo is to blame for the economic quagmire that we are faced with. Let me start with you, Audisha, because you are one of the organizers, the Arise Ghana, put together this wonderful dialogue. So let's hear your comment on this before I come to Honorable.
Thank you once again, Kwame. As you rightly indicated, Comrade Julius Malema, the commander-in-chief of the Economic Fighters Front, a political party in South Africa, came to Ghana under the auspices of Arise Ghana. And as a member of Arise Ghana, I was prominent at that particular event. And fortunately, on our part, you emceed the program, and you are here today also hosting a morning show to discuss that particular event. And if you listened, or those who watched from home or from their workplaces or whatever, if you listen to the delivery by Comrade Julius Malema, it was nothing apart from his usual best. We know that Malema is noted for standing up and speaking out for the liberation of the continent of Africa, emphasizing so much on continental unity and talking about good governance and the fact that people in authority must be held accountable to ensure that the suffering masses in Africa, as it were, a benefit from the many resources that God in his infinite wisdom has bestowed on us. And eventually he had to narrow it down to the performance of the government of Ghana and the government of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Because Kwame, I am not sure that what Malema said was anything different from what some of us have been engaged in for quite some time now, especially under the regime of Akufo-Addo. judging from the circumstances under which he assumed the reins of government, and the kind of lofty promises that they made, and the kind of hopes and expectations that people had about the NPP, and like I indicated, the circumstances under which they won an election. A lot of people could not believe that you could have such a vote margin difference in 2016. But lo and behold, the performance of this government has been catastrophic. The performance of this government has been heartbreaking, because it has been one scandal after the other. And somebody said that one day, one scandal. And I'm sure that if you were to give me the whole of this morning to catalog the scandals that have rocked this particular government, we would even not be able to exhaust all of them. But it is out there, it is clearly out there that this is a government that is not practicing what it preaches. And a lot of the time, people think that there is the unseen hand of the presidency itself in most of the things that people in authority appear to do, that borders on issues of corruption and misgovernance and all of that. So Julius Malema was right on point when he said that this particular government is at the IMF and being dictated to by the IMF and the World Bank simply because the government has mismanaged the resources of the country. The reason for which they would have to go and sit around the table and be negotiating with an IMF government, because it is clear that a government that is unable to live up to its responsibilities in as far as debt obligation is concerned is quite worrying. And when they cite instances or issues of issues of exogenous factors like the Russian-Ukraine war, like the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, and all of that, I just cringe, because these are not things that have a direct impact. And the Ghana that we have is not an island. You understand? We find ourselves in similar circumstances just like other sovereign countries. Why is our situation quite different and quite unique? So clearly, it means that the government is not doing something right. And for the past 7 years, the government has not indicated that indeed it is a trustworthy government. It is a government that listens to the people. It is a government capable of, as it were, managing the country in such a manner that would meet the expectations of the people. And so for me, we need a lot more of such deliveries by people like Malema. Right. Because when you have a system where everything is politicized and people view everything with a partisan lens, people think that those who criticize this government, they do it just on the basis of wanting to take advantage in order to come back to government. You understand? And those of us who in one way or that are coming from other political persuasions, people find a convenient way of trying to align you in order to downplay the opinions you share that do not border, that do not augur well for the government of the day. And so when you have people like Malema come to speak and their delivery align with the position that we have taken, the kind of things that we have been saying for the past 7 years, then it brings a certain level of what will I say? It adds up to the fact that something ought to be done because something is not done right.
Significant in what he said is how he sought to create a certain correlation between democracy and corruption, the interlinkage between democracy and corruption. And then he makes the point that corruption is now threatening Ghana's democracy. And of course, Ghana has been a shining example to many African states. He continues to make the point that the current leadership of Ghana has failed in its duty, which is why the country that led the liberation efforts in Africa is now being dictated to by the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. So it is instructive for us to appreciate, and in analyzing this, it's important that we create a certain dichotomy between democracy and corruption and how they interlink.
Well,
because clearly, how corruption threatens democracy, right? From what I see, is the end result of a failed system which creates certain instability, which invariably would now lead to the destabilization of the country, right? So that is the interlinkage I want us to look at. And of course, it's important that because look at the taxes that we are being engulfed with, right? Taxes. Look at the price of goods and services, VAT on electricity, and several other, failed economic decisions, which obviously are creating some difficulties for the people of this country. So I just want us to look at perhaps go into his brain and appreciate the exactitude of the interlinkage that he was trying to create.
Kwame.
And Honorable, I'll come to you because I know you are here.
Kwame, I don't know whether it's on this platform or some other platform. I have indicated times without number that when I sit back and I have a reflection on Ghana's democratic journey, I come to the fair conclusion, rightly so, that our democracy probably is overrated. It's overrated because we do not see the dividends that a democracy should bring to the people, and the kind of things that we still grapple with, issues of these grand corruption in around people in government, the people who are supposed to ensure that we build a truly democratic state that will bring true development to the people. Because when the country develops, naturally it is the people that would benefit from it. But when you continue to see the level of poverty that we see, the level of deprivation that we see, and if anybody had any doubt, how in a democracy could a president look some chiefs in the face and tell them that
you didn't vote for me.
You didn't vote for me. You understand? In a democracy, we are discussing it. Nobody appears to be doing anything about it, and this is not the first time. The president said the same thing when the floods happened in the Volta region, and he went to meet the Volta Regional House of Chiefs. You understand? And in a true democracy, no president would be able to say these things and get away with it.
Well, okay, let me come to Honorable A.B. Efuseni for him to also speak to this matter, but then I'll come back to you and try to understand why we're here. It's important that we understand why we're here. But Honorable, let's hear from you on this matter.
Yeah, Kwame.
Yes, sir.
Let me say good morning to your good self.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I know that the battle to overcome the law conundrum kept you away for many years.
Yes.
And so even though I've congratulated you, let me congratulate you once again.
Thank you, Honorable.
For burning the midnight oil successfully and being called to the bar. And at least I can rest in comfort that even if I have a case that I'm koboless, I can get some pro bono from. Congratulations. And my brother, Audu Ishak, I wish him Allah's blessings and guidance. And I know by the grace of Allah Almighty, he is going to succeed.
Absolutely.
And that will kneel to the benefit of our democratic process. We have young, brilliant, committed, dedicated, and selfless young men like him. I'm sure he will make a positive contribution and impact on our democratic process. I salute your technical people, the viewers of Pan-Africa out there, and the evergreen Burkina people, grassroots people of the Sanaro constituency. I salute all of them. Kwame, say somebody who has died in the market don't need to announce his demise. If you are talking about corruption and this government, I think they are synonyms. For me, Kwame, the biggest thing Allah Almighty has done is to have made Nana Akufo-Addo the president of this republic. Look, if Nana Akufo-Addo had not been president of this republic, Ghanaians would have sung the endless song that this is the best president we never had. Kwame, today is an unmitigated disaster with his abysmal performance. Never in the annals of our country's history, Kwame, has this country sunk so low. Has this country imposed on its millions of people the most excruciating hardship ever known in our country's history. Never in our country's history has the country had so much resources. This is a government that has had resources more than any government in the history of our country, and yet has performed so abysmally. Kwame, where has the money gone? That is the issue of where corruption is coming in, and we will be there in a short while. So Kwame, that is why I say, for me, by the grace of Allah Almighty, on the 7th of January 2025, when His Excellency President Mahama is sworn in as a president, there will be a carnival in this country. It will be like Ghana's second independence. That we have gotten rid of this hopelessly uninspiring government and begin to build hope and confidence for this country again. Kwame, there is a very serious correlation between corruption and good governance. Kwame, what is corruption? Kwame, is among others. People can define it very wide. Even moral corruption, all of them are there. But the classical meaning is taking something from the state or from the collective into for private gain. Using inappropriate means to extract resources from the state or a collective for the benefit of an individual. So if you are looking at funds, is siphoning funds, using illegal means to siphon funds into your private pocket. And it is easy in our business here for governments to do those kinds of things. Kwame, I ought to salute the organizers of the forum. Arise Ghana Alai, and our comrade Benamona and others, for having the foresight and the requisite resources, because Kwame, you have to gather resources to be able to bring all these people here. I remember not too long ago, the same people were here, including PLO Lumumba, the same our brother comrade Julius Malema and others, and they prevented them from
Peter Obi from Nigeria.
Peter Obi from Nigeria from having access to the Independence Square.
Precisely.
Where they were going to give some lectures to Ghanaians and others. And they were prevented by doing so by the state. Well, I mean, if you haven't stolen, why are you running in a market? Why were they stopped? It's because they don't want the good people of this country to hear that message. And so, as for Comrade Julius Malema, they say the person you know in the daytime, you don't light a torch to identify him in the night. We know what he comes for and how he has risen to become an eloquent champion for the underprivileged and the oppressed. He speaks for the downtrodden, for the marginalized, the disadvantaged, the oppressed, those without a voice in society. Kwame, that is, and I've been telling people, when somebody is doing this way, he's doing the work of God Almighty. Allah Almighty says we should work and ensure that we uplift those members of our society who are downtrodden, who are disadvantaged, who are oppressed. And so anybody working to uplift the quality of life for these categories of people is doing the work of God Almighty. And so Kwame, it goes without saying that under the watch of this government, and Kwame, where I said if Nana Akufo-Addo hadn't become president, people would have said this is the best president we never had. Look at the life of over 2-3 decades that he was in opposition. If you take it back to even the Champon days, all the way to his organization of Kumipreku and others. And Kwame, go and read the 2016 manifesto of the MPP, uttered by Nana Akufo-Addo, where he said he has gone across the breadth of the country and he has seen suffering. And that by the grace of God, if he gets the opportunity to become president, the impact he will make on this country, the work he will do to uplift the quality of lives of our people and remove them from the throes of poverty and underdevelopment. Kwame, only for him, immediately he became president, what did he do? the first thing he did was to inflict an atrocious level of government by way of cabinet, by way of his ministerial appointments in this country. The most expensive, expansive Obolo government in the history of the world. I'm not, because I know not of a country, maybe Kwame Asante correction. I know not of a country in this world that at the time had 127 ministers. If you know of any country that has that, you can let me know. This is what he did to us from the very onset. And so you see, the testicle that will degenerate into hernia, you will see it from the day it descends. From the very beginning, he has shown us signs that this man was going to lead this country into a huge mess. And it's come to pass. Kwame, never in the annals of our country's history has the economy been so catastrophically mismanaged by Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia. Kwame, take all the macroeconomic indicators, and now I've said it, that the MPP is an overrated party. When they claim they are the best managers of the economy, Kwame, just ask yourself, which government has the best economic growth rate that has been registered on an annual basis in this country? It's not the MPP. It's the NDC in 2011, 14.1%. No government has achieved that record before. 14.1%. The worst economic record on an annual basis that has occurred in this country has been under the watch of Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia. 0.4% economic growth in 2020. The worst record. Kwame. So this and look at the other things that have followed. Look at the exchange rate deterioration. Yeah. Kwame, you inherit it from 4 cedis to $1. Then you take it at a point even to 15. Okay? Revenue targets off, over expenditure, debt to GDP in disarray. And then the worst ever, Kwame, in the history of our country, no government has ever reneged on its responsibility to pay our debts. Not even when the military in 1972 under Kena Champon, and I salute his government and the positive work they did. Kwame. Not even them, when they enunciated the Yen-Tuya policy, did they actually go ahead to renege on the payment of our debt. Today, Ghana is a pariah in the international community as far as lending money to. Nobody is prepared to lend money to you. That's why we've been booted out of the bond market. So Kwame, the evidence is out there, and then you come home and you see how in the face of this resources have been managed. Kwame, just the latest one that we had on this SML scandalous deal, where even revenue assurances have been undertaken by many institutions, including the Ministry of Energy and even my brother's place, Honorable Dr. Mustafa Ami's place, National Petroleum Authority. They are all running revenue assurances on this, and you still go behind and give $100 million contract. Kwame, that's why Audu Shark said that if he has to enunciate the number of scandals, you cannot finish it. And so the summary of it is what? A special prosecutor appointed by the president himself. This one is not something that you will say it was the NDC that had a hand and you say it is politically motivated. It's the president himself who appointed Honorable Martin Amidu. Am I lying? Yep. And what verdict did Martin Amidu pronounce on the president? He said it's the mother serpent of corruption. Analyze this English. Mothers, you already know what a serpent is. And this is the mother of all the serpents of corruption. That at every stop, it is the president who clears those against whom allegations of corruption have been made, when he should have been the chief prosecutor to ensure that his government. Kwame, do you remember that he said that anybody who wants to make money should not come into his government? Do you remember? I do. I think it was the reverse announcement. He was indirectly telling people that who want to make money in his government should come to his government.
Anyway.
Because for all these years, Kwame, not a single act of corruption has been prosecuted by him in his government.
Let's proceed and look at.
And so
yeah.
Today it is fashionable. They say when the chief himself goes for a weird haircut, what would the young men do?
Very well. You are still watching the news for segment here on Pan-African Television. My name is Kwame Owusudan. So we just dealt with Julius Malema's comments on Ghana when he visited Ghana on the invitation of Arise Ghana to hold a dialogue with Ghanaians, and he made these remarks when he came to Ghana, or he visited Ghana. Let's move on. There are other very important stories that we have to deal with. And again, I told you that even though it has not been captured by my producer, Blessed Man Alomaso, aka Koku Alomaso, I just want to spend a little bit of time in discussing it, because I find it very disgusting that a minister will hold a press conference all in an attempt to smear the former President John Dramani Mahama. And they are targeting former President John Dramani Mahama. It's a no-brainer. Now, they say that why was his body moved to a private funeral home? Interesting. We will allow the former president to rest after 12 years. This is the time the minister thinks is imperative to discuss the causes that led to the death or the demise of former President John Evans Fifi Atamos. Interesting. Let me just read it too. This is the country we are trying to build. Listen, the minister. The Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Asabi. If I mentioned Stephen Asamoah, but maybe you will not remember. Asabi, you remember Asabi? Asabi has called for a comprehensive investigation into the death of former President John Evans Atamos. According to him, the controversy surrounding the death of the late president must be settled once and for all, for the country to move forward. Hey, Ghana, we are not serious. So the country is retrogressing because we have not fully investigated the death of Atamos. How is that? We are retrogressing because we have not fully investigated the death of John Atamos. So the country will not move forward. Anyway, quote, we have, okay, so as the Minister for Chieftaincy, holding firm our tradition and custom, religion and faith, as we all die and where we will go, I will support that we solve the controversy surrounding the death of former President John Evans Fifi Atamos for the records to be set straight, he stated. We have to know where he died, the doctor who attended to him, where he was taken to. I'm told the body was taken to the funeral home, who authorized that the body should be moved to that end. We heard it was in the custody of 37 Hospital. Why did he end up in a private hospital? Is there something in the autopsy report they don't want us to know? Who doesn't want you to know? Who? Why are they hiding it? The public wants it. I said I wanted to ignore this, because I feel like sometimes people throw in these irrelevant matters just to throw you off your focus, right? So I didn't want to, because that's the style of the NPP. When there are really important matters to discuss, they bring other irrelevant things just to throw your mind off what is, because we have VAT, we are discussing VAT, then we'll go and bring Atamos. Then the NDC, of course, will follow in the discussion of Atamos, and then they will relegate the other matters to the background. So that's the plan. I mean, when they started in 2016, that has always been the plan. Something happens, they bring something, throw something. I'm surprised the NDC was always following. I think maybe now you guys have realized that that's what they've been doing. Anyway, Honorable Lebi Hussein, let me start with you on this one.
Yeah, thank you very much. Kwame.
Yes, sir.
I want to prefer first an advice to my friend Asamoah Boating.
Asabi. People remember him as Asabi.
Asabi.
Yes.
He commanded some degree of respect before when he served in government. I'm not sure that he's coming back to government. He must have been so hungry and desperate to become a minister that he has become such a pathetic Akufo-Addo sycophant. Such a pathetic bootlicker, to the point that he can make these pronouncements as a minister of state. I want to advise him that he should not weep more than the bereaved. If he is just brought in, he wants to sound more loyal, more committed to the sinking government of Nana Akufo-Addo, that he can descend to such pitiful depths like he's doing. Kwame, let it not be lost on anybody, and you have mentioned it. This is an agenda of Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia government to rescue the sinking MPP. Nothing.
All of a sudden, we have Western Togoland.
Absolutely nothing. They can throw any sanjasha you see. Today, I can tell you, even if they get a goat that has delivered 5 kids, they will throw it into the distance. Because they are sinking. They want to find an opportunity to engage the minds of Ghanaians in useless matters. Matters that have no substance. Matters that are completely laden by untruth. So that they can get Ghanaians' attention occupied on and then give them a free pass from the legendary incompetence and almost near criminal imposition of hardship on our people. They want to divert attention. So this is nothing but a clear diversion of attention by Nana Akufo-Addo Dr. Bawumia government. Comrade, Kwame, just consider this issue.
Right.
You are talking about a former president. Okay?
Yep.
Kwame, we are talking about somebody who is an institution by himself. The legendary President Ataminos, may Allah be pleased with his soul. Kwame, you will see clearly that in the run-up to the ailment he had, and ultimately then, there were medical records. Allah Kwame.
Yeah.
A president of the republic cannot decease and not have medical records being scrutinized. Cannot be deceased without even having an autopsy on him. And like my comrade, my colleague in parliament, Sami Atamis, who is the direct brother of the late President Mills, indicated that the family was directly involved. And he said that he Samuel Atamils and some members of the family were present when the autopsy was done. Kwame, it was not done at a secret location, 37 military hospital, where the record of the autopsy is available. Kwame, is it not astonishing that a whole government and the whole president of the republic, because I listened to President Nana Akufo-Addo say that, they are not even aware of the autopsy report. President of the republic, for God's sake, how can you denigrate the presidency like this in the name of the author of cheap, useless political issues that you are bringing up, just to divert the attention of the public?
This one is very useless. That one.
Useless, absolutely useless.
There's no other.
So Kwame, I don't think we should be giving even credence.
I agree.
I will support you that look, this agenda is an agenda setting.
No, it is.
They are trying to just bring up some issue in order to get at President Mahama. That is all the arrangement.
You see, and so it's important. You remember, Honorable, just to throw this in and bring your mind to it. Maybe you've not averted your mind to. You see this Western Togoland thing, all of a sudden, it is springing up again.
Yes.
Remember in 2020 sprang up.
Yes.
And then they had to send some military people there just to.
This is not the first time they brought this issue. Even in the 2020 elections. In 2016 elections, they brought it.
I am saying that
they brought it in 2020 elections.
These are tangential matters, and I hope that
they are not just tangential; they are useless matters. This is not something that Ghanaians should waste their time on.
Yeah, because
that matter is settled, settled long ago.
Very well.
And why? That's why I say, Kwame, if you have your funeral, and an outsider comes and wishes more than you, the one who owns the funeral, you should question him. He has ulterior motives. Right. The MPP are there. They love Professor Atamils more than MDC and more than even his own family.
Interesting.
And I want to caution my comrade who has gone astray.
Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
Why you can't mention this?
He's lending himself to this dishonorable, this discredited, shameful, useless act. He must back off what he's doing. I am telling you, it will not kneel to his benefit in the future. He's running down his whatever is left of a name for him. And I will appeal to him to retreat faster and not allow this hopelessly incompetent and failed government to use him for this dastardly act. It is a useless, stupid act. And I think that, Kwame, bear with me. For the use of these words, and no sensible person.
Why would I?
No sensible person should lend himself to this kind of sordid acts that they are bringing up.
Adage, we say "Kenyanim dahwa ye monche."
But
Let me come to Audisha. Yes, sir. In fact, I didn't want to give credence to this, but
the latest engagement, the latest engagement between the chiefs from the Kofi and the president.
I just want to. I'll give you this point so that you use it. It has even come out that the so-called Queen Mother that led the thing is a fake. It's a fake.
Kwame, did you see how that's talking about Koko and Yindoho? At the latter part of the submission of the chiefs, did you hear them say that the president should look for a job for Koko and Yindoho because he is jobless?
Oh, they said that?
Yes. They said that.
Such a disgrace.
And that was a disgrace. That was so demeaning. You understand? Koko cannot want to use these chiefs to appeal to the president to get him a job. You understand?
Very shameful.
But Kwame, as much as we see this as a diversionary tactic by the NPP, as it were, to gain some favor, especially in the central region, which is seen as being very key to elections in Ghana, because the central region is one of the swing regions that decides which political party wins elections in this country. So probably the NPP is being deceived to want to use Professor Atta Mills's death, the circumstances surrounding his death, as a basis to want to appeal for some favors in the central region. But as much as they are doing that, do they also know that they could be offending the sensibilities of the family of Professor Mills? That would rather not inure to their benefit, but that would anger the people in the central region to even vote against them. You understand? Because, Kwame, we know the reverence we give to our departed family members and all of that.
That's the problem.
In Ghanaian custom, we hold highly.
Yes.
just
much more a former president, a statesman who managed out of that family, you understand, to rise to the top of being president of Ghana, and then the fellow dies, and you come out and you say all of these things. You understand? Kwame, I am not a medical doctor, but who in Ghana didn't know that Professor Mills was unwell? We may not know the ailment he was suffering from, but we all know that the president at the time was not well medically, health-wise. And so if he dies, why would anybody want to associate something else with his death and not a natural cause? All of these things they are doing, what do they intend to achieve? And like you indicated, we shouldn't give these people any reverence, but we just want people to get to understand that these are the people who will do anything.
It's important to let people know
desperation, they'll do anything at all. And they tell you that a drown is like a drowning man clutching to a straw. The straw cannot help them because 2024 elections, this nepotistic government must go down, and nothing is going to change it.
The reason why I said that it is irrelevant, but we must discuss this, because we need to let people know the strategy. I mean, this is a strategy. It's a strategy. The NDC, I don't know whether in 2020 they realized that this is the type and the kind of strategy they use. But you didn't have that your mind to now. I'm bringing it to your attention. This is the strategy. This is the strategy. You fell for it all the time, NDC, all the time, from 2016 to 2020. To 2020, whatever. Okay, now it's changed. But from 20, you always fell for it. Always. Then something big will happen. Instead of you to focus your attention, they will bring another thing about the NDC. Then all of a sudden people are discussing political strategy. Anyway, listen to this message that has been sent. You see, and again, this guy, I think he thinks like me. He says, "Good morning, Kwame. After the late president's matter, they will shift to the voter region. The secessionist group awake." Yes, now the question is, who killed Mr. Rollins? We should also be asking the question, who killed Mr. Rollins? Because Mr. Rollins also died at Akufo-Addo.
Exactly.
No, so?
Exactly.
Yeah, so who killed Mr. Rollins? He was a former president too. He was also sent to Kolebu. How was he sent to Kolebu?
The announcement just came like a bolt from the blue.
Yes.
Many people didn't even hear
We didn't even believe it.
Where is the autopsy report?
No, so the question, you see, he's also asking very, very pertinent questions. He said, listen, now the question is, who killed Mr. Rollins? He was a former president. How was he sent to Kolebu Hospital instead of the 37 military hospital? Kwame, Nana promised to investigate the late president's cause of death. 8 years in office. He should tell us his findings. He shouldn't wait till the last dying members of his administration to be investigating the death of former president J.E.A. Mills. I've read your message, my brother. Let me see if I can. Oh, you only said good morning. Yes.
The legendary Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, sole founder of this republic. In the aftermath of the 1948 riots, when the British colonial government saw that they were politically overtaken by events, came up with the Kuse constitution. Nkrumah described it as outmoded at birth. Because it had already been overtaken by events. This matter is outmoded.
Very well.
Ghanaians can see the chicanery, the cheapness of the FPP.
But let's discuss important matters. Very important matters. Fuseni Zukeful Sani Turawa in Asaman Kesi says, Kayode, good morning and good morning to your panelists. Kayode, we know very well that the special prosecutor can't do anything to Cecilia Dapa. We knew it. Akufo-Addo himself encourages stealing among his appointees. Who is that? That's Saka. So when you sat down, the Saka has come. Why is he like that? He will always wait. When it's certain, because his party is failing. He can't defend them. Saka, come and defend your party, my friend. Come and defend your people. Anyway. Okay, bless you. May want to give way to Saka. Yes, we have to respect, even though he's a late comer. But lawyers don't behave like that. When you start practicing, when the court says at 9 and you go at 9:01, they will not hear your matter. Why are you such a late comer? You won't start advising yourself, Saka. TUC gives government 7-day ultimatum to withdraw electricity tax. 7-day ultimatum to withdraw electricity tax. Oh no, it's nothing. I asked him to get up. Akagu, we'll cool down. Producer Bo, director Bo. Saka. Saka. You know people should put it on his, so everybody will know that he's just sitting down.
Lawyer, don't do that. Lawyer, don't do that.
Give 7-day ultimatum to withdraw electricity tax. I think former President John Dramani Mahama spoke to it as well. Several other civil society organizations have spoken to it. Let me start with you. Let me start with you on this one. Let me start with you.
Yeah, Kwame. First and foremost, I want to find out what is VAT?
Value added tax.
Yes. Value
addition.
Added tax. Not so. You are taxing value that has been added. Is that not the case?
That's how it should be.
So the first point you have to establish is that before you attempt to even tax something and call it VAT, you must establish that value has been added. I mean, is that not a logical and sound argument? So if you send electricity, say to a poverty-stricken person's house, he has no job, he only puts on the light and maybe use electric iron. What value has been added for any tax to be imposed on that person? So you see, part of the argument the TUC is even making is that, you see, those, as if some people in government, they are not thinking properly. They act before they think. And if you see somebody who has a penchant for acting before he thinks, you must ask questions about his competence.
All right, well, Gabriela says I should greet you. Gabriela Tete.
Oh, my colleague in Parliament.
She likes the equalization.
Oh,
with Rollins. Is that Gabriela? Gabriela Tete. Not
Gabriela Tete is my colleague.
I never knew she's now.
Gisela.
It's my.
I'm not talking about you.
He said Tete.
So,
Gabriela says,
yes.
All die be die.
Yes.
So JJ, whether JJ's death must be investigated at that all die
it's
be
even
die.
a useless. I'm saying that matter of is the most useless prank. Ghanaians should stop waiting that time.
Strategies. Saka knows strategy.
Kwame.
Yes, sir.
So I'm building on a point.
Yes, sir. Please do.
That the value added tax is premised on the addition of value to something before you calculate what tax to put on it. Sending electricity into homes, and especially of those who are seen as they rank them as what consumers, lifeline consumers, who are the bottom of the bottom.
But they said this one is a lifeline consumers are exempt.
Kwame, you are talking about a situation where it was from 50 to 30. What is that? Who is now a lifeline consumer? Are you aware of that? Are you aware?
You talk.
My brother, don't when you are suffering in the abyss, don't want to assume the limelight. You see, Kwame. So you first have to establish that there is a value that has been added upon which you should impose a tax. In this particular matter, where is the value that has been added? What value has been added for a tax to be imposed? So it's an illegitimate criminal tax if you want to make it that way. It's illegitimate because there's no basis upon which you can exact a tax on the people. You cannot. So this is an illegitimate tax. Let me take this opportunity, Kwame, and I salute him. It's very difficult for you to be in government. Only few people of credit and merit who know that there's tomorrow can even look their government in the face and tell them this one is wrong. What you are doing is wrong, is not proper. So that you stand vindicated and exalted tomorrow. All of them almost invariably will be gapy sycophants. They will look like Agbagba. What do you call Agbagba? Duck. They make one dogo line and follow the mother, even if it's senseless. They will only follow that senseless thing and support that useless argument. This is one such useless argument.
Say Agbagba.
Agbagba. You see, this is what is happening. And I want to salute, like I said, I want to salute the managing director of the electricity. Is it corporation or company? What is his name? Dubik Mahama. His father was a distinguished lawyer. No wonder. Fantastic. I want to salute him for even having the courage to point out some flaws in this particular thing that they are asking him to implement. Because he said that you want me to implement this thing. The way the thing is structured, it is not like a straightforward thing where you can go ahead and just implement. Because you have to establish first whether there is a basis for the tax to be brought in the first place. And so far, the legal advice they are having is that there is no basis. So how does he collect the tax? Kwame. So that is the first issue. And for me, clearly, it is beyond doubt that there's no VAT. But let's come back to this same government. Kwame, this is the government that has imposed the most colossal amount of taxes ever in the history of this country. This is the most wicked, insensitive government in the history of our country in the imposition of taxes. Kwame, look at how Ghanaians are suffering under this legendary incompetence of Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia. Look at the level of suffering.
Don't do that.
You don't even if you don't fear God, and you know that there's tomorrow. Are these people you should impose further taxes on? Look at where Ghanaians, the sorry state in which Ghanaians are today. Any government where it's short. If you cannot even do anything, leave the current level of suffering that they have to bear. And you are adding more taxes. Kwame, we cannot carry the tricks that you have put on us. You are adding locks. That's why I say this is a very wicked government. Just bowing to the dictates of the IMF and others, which you came and claimed proclaimed from the finance minister to my friend John Kuma in parliament. You claim that the IMF is a wicked institution. The people of any pride and dignity should never go there, and that you are never going to IMF today, you are never going tomorrow. And today you are gleefully implementing what we call conditionalities that are imposed by the IMF. Look at the regime of taxes. In this budget alone, there were more than 15 new taxes in just the last budget.
Can you mention them?
Oh, Master, if I can read so many of them to you here.
Let's hear them.
You are not aware. You are not aware there's an emission tax. Are you aware?
Huh?
Are you aware there's an emission tax?
That means 50.
I'm telling you, there are many taxes. I've not brought the list, but I can mention some of them to you here.
You mentioned one.
I'm telling you, you know that there is a what do you call it?
You may not be able to remember.
There's nothing.
Yes, Kwame. I'm just telling you that on this Pan-Africa I've mentioned 15 taxes here, and it's not a Ghanaians out there. I'm saying that, Kwame, if you open the line, people will mention all the taxes that the MPP just imposed in the last budget. 15 taxes. I'm telling you, as a matter, not even the finance minister. Your people don't quarrel with that argument. They say it's necessary because they have to broaden the tax base.
No,
they know it. So don't come and want to send me back. Kwame, is this not the government that said they were moving the country from taxation to production? Kwame, remember that. In opposition, they criticized the NDC and said VAT and other taxes that had been imposed represented a setback to the private sector, and that the private sector cannot grow if you saddle it with taxes, and that when they come to power, they are going to move the country away from taxes. There will be less taxes to spur growth in the private sector. What has happened? Kwame, this has been the most extortionate taxation system in the whole of the nation that I can remember. Not just in West Africa, but on the entire African continent. Okay? They tout themselves as private sector friendly. Today, the private sector itself is dying under the watch of Dr. Bawumia and Nana Akufo-Addo. The private sector is being crippled by extortionate taxation under the watch of this government. Kwame, as if that were not enough, this government saddled with this burden of Ghanaians suffering is imposing more exemptions. Kwame, to the last count, in fact, before we rose in parliament, the first one that they brought was about 5 billion in exemptions, and another 7.5 billion in exemptions were on the way. So for exemptions alone, including for Nana Akufo-Addo's in-laws hospital, hotel, you remember, Pullman or whatever they call it, private people's hotel, they are giving those level of exemptions. 12.5 billion Ghana cedis of exemptions, and in the face of that one, you are imposing taxes. The last budget, Kwame, the last 2024 budget in Parliament, they were the quantum of taxes that were put came up to over 11 billion Ghana cedis. 11 billion Ghana cedis, and still counting. Fresh taxation. So, in the face of this, doesn't it sound bizarre that even those who are flat on their backs, the ordinary poor people of this country, just using electricity maybe to switch on a bulb to give him light in his room, that one too you are taking it away? What a wicked government. That one away too, you want to take it away? The lowest of the low, the lowest hanging fruits that are almost touching the ground, that one too you are taking that one away. Kwame, that's why I've said that this government, having had the benefit of the largest pool of resources, still still in the doldrums. You have eaten a whole cow, you are not satisfied. What would the intestines of a fowl do to you? Kwame, look at how low they are stooping to the. So no wonder the TUC. In fact, it should have happened long ago. The TUC should have even waited for this particular matter to come. They have done atrocious things against the working people of this country. The working people of this country have suffered extremely under the MPP. And the TUC has waited for a long time. And given this government a honeymoon to continue to do what they are doing. So, even though it's better late than never, Kwame, it is important for all Ghanaians to rise up and make sure that these atrocious levels of taxation they are imposing on Ghanaians do not go scot-free. Was it not Nana Akufo-Addo, Kwame? You remember who led Preku demonstration?
Yes.
The Preku demonstration was against what? Kwame, is it not the same VAT he, Nana Akufo-Addo, is sending to the high heavens today? He's increasing it to atrocious level today. When he led Ghanaians to oppose the imposition of the value-added tax, today he's gleefully implementing higher levels of taxation. At that time, VAT was what percentage was it when it was being introduced? In single digit. Today, look at the double digits. In fact, Kwame, people are calculating that even now, what do? They will have to factor in postpaid and prepaid. Ally, how do they charge? VAT is on value you have added, which is costed. If I come to buy prepaid, what value has been added to it at the time that I'm buying it? It doesn't make sense. So this is a government that has lost its way. A government that has no way forward in this country. They are so desperate that, Kwame, I'm telling you today, if they have the opportunity of saying that they will now charge pocket money tax. So they will come and find out, they will let people across you on the street, how much money do you have in your pocket? We are imposing a tax on you. If they get the opportunity, they will do that. They will reap money from people's pockets in the level of desperation that this government has reached today. And you ask yourself, with all these monies, Kwame, what have they done with the monies? What have they done with these monies? No wonder that is why the corruption matter we just discussed features so high under Akufo-Addo. You will go down as the worst president ever in the annals of our country.
Well, thank you very much. Audijak, let me come to you.
Keoli,
Yes, sir.
it's not just the TUC. Arrest Ghana issued a statement, I think, on Wednesday, also indicating that if government does not do the needful of withdrawing this particular needless tax, it will also hit the streets, because we think that under the circumstances, anything what a listening government should be doing, the least a listening government should be doing, is to fashion out policies that would ameliorate the sufferings of the masses, rather than implementing tax handles that would further exacerbate the suffering that they are going through. And for me, like Honorable ABF Husseini said, I still cannot wrap my head around the decision to tax domestic consumption of electricity. Because if you describe the tax itself as value added, if I go to buy electricity for my home to ensure my comfort, to ensure that my food does not go bad and all of that, what profit am I making? What business am I using? What commercial activity am I going to use that electricity that I have bought for, to the extent that you want to tax it? So common sense will tell you that this particular tax was not well thought through, and it's coming to add up to the many other senseless and needless taxes, in my opinion, that this particular government has ramped up on the good people of Ghana, and for which we do not even see what they are using all of those revenues to do. Because I think that the government is interested in, as it were, funding its own comfort creature, not thinking about how to let the good people of Ghana get to live a very befitting life. Kwame, electricity today, as we are talking about, is no more a luxury. It is a necessity. When you go into the villages, at least you have poor students who need electricity to study. It is not like in those days where people had to use all manner of unconventional means to ensure that they go through their studies and all of that. Today, we think that we are building a technologically savvy world and economy for that particular matter, which requires that we make electricity not just accessible, but affordable as well. And so if you have a government that is even unable to build upon the accessibility rate of electricity as far as the records show, and they rather go and they are now making it so expensive that people cannot even afford it anymore, then we have nothing to do than to question the reasoning behind some of these things. And I think that I support the call by the TUC, I support the call by Arise Ghana, and we call on every other progressive to let us stand up in solidarity for ourselves, not for anybody. Kwame, I say this because in one way or the other, we are all linked to one person or the other who falls within a certain category of poverty. And you see, if we do not help them to rise, they will share their poverty with us. I'm not saying that I am rich, but when I go to some other places and I see the circumstances under which some people are living, I say Alhamdulillah all the time, because I think that I am better off. And it is important for us to advocate for those people to also rise up to a certain appreciable level that would ensure that we are all able to tag each other along. Either than that, they would pull us down. You understand? And so for me, when issues of this nature come up, with regards to the imposition of a tax, that undoubtedly we all know is going to impose more burden on the people of Ghana, we must condemn it and call rightly for it to be withdrawn as soon as possible. And I'm happy that the ECG managing director has been speaking. Yesterday he was at City FM and he indicated that there are a lot of issues surrounding the directive by the finance minister for them to start charging the tax. They are not doing it for now, and so people shouldn't panic. We just think that, and we want to take him for his word, at the end of the day, they should be telling the finance minister that that is not a tax, that is implementable, and it should be scrapped off.
Saga,
Yeah, come on.
let's hear from you, sir.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Say good morning to our cherished viewers, and then my co-panelists, as well as the MPP fraternity. Not forgetting our incoming president and leader of the MPP, Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia.
Who is the incoming president?
I allowed you here to talk.
You didn't allow me. Interjected so
Okay, no problem. Okay.
I haven't forgotten.
Keep on interjecting.
You see, you can't take a taste of your.
Oh no, I'm taking it.
You see that you are complaining.
No, I'm not complaining.
The only incoming president is President Mama.
Who is that?
Ghana
The truth, sorry, no.
But we will never see light.
The one who brought Dumso to
You never see light. The one who cured it.
Okay, I haven't greeted my people,
So me,
and including my lawyer sitting in front of you.
I'm a meta.
I haven't greeted my lawyer too, including my incoming president.
Say it well. Say it well, eh?
I said I haven't greeted Castle KOD.
Yes, young man, yeah.
And my incoming president, our incoming president, Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Let me now go straight.
Allah forbid.
Let me now go straight to why would you wish bad for your fellow Muslim?
We are not in a religious.
No, the way you are.
not in the
No, I'm asking you. But we will come to that.
I'm even telling you that.
You know today is Friday. Today is Friday.
Friday.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh,
Let me. No, but why would you say that? Oh, please.
Let him tell me that.
Oh,
President Mama, pound for pound.
Oh, Master Jai. Oh, Jai.
Dr. Banya cannot do what.
Yeah, let me talk. Why are you so uneasy about this matter? I'm even shocked.
Dr. Banya doesn't come near President Mama.
I'm even shocked that you feel.
Don't make that attempt.
How? He doesn't come near him when it comes to corruption. When it comes to corruption.
What you have done for
He doesn't come near him when it comes to corruption and
Dr. Banya hasn't
incompetence.
done one quarter of what President Mama has done for
Come
Muslims.
near him when it
He
comes
doesn't come
to
near.
incompetence and
He
corruption.
doesn't come anywhere near.
You understand me?
Don't mention
When it
Muslims.
comes to incompetence and
I think it is
corruption,
on your.
he hasn't.
It is in your
He
interest.
cannot come
It is in
near.
your interest not to mention
So please
Muslims.
keep quiet.
Take out the religious matter. Otherwise, you will come out.
Maybe you are not a Muslim.
Waste of.
Maybe you are
You can
not.
question my Islam.
I am
Okay.
questioning it.
Yes. If I want to question your leaders,
I'm questioning your Islam.
If I want to question
your Islam,
a Muslim who can come and kneel down and have pastors put their hands on it and pray for him. Look, you don't even know the ethics.
John Mahama was there.
You don't even know the ethics. You don't even know that.
John Mahama.
You don't even know the ethics
was with us.
The religion has certain basic.
Pretending to be reciting the
religion has certain basic principles.
You understand me?
When you do certain things, you have crossed over to another side. You are not a Muslim. Don't go there.
I'm going there. I'm going there.
You can't go worse off.
Why are you saying I shouldn't go?
Your man will come worse off.
We have gone there.
You will be worse off.
You're not a proper Muslim.
Don't go there.
Don't go there. Let me proceed.
Don't go there.
So let me proceed.
Go. Come a Muslim by day and something by night.
Viewers should take note.
You should know who are. If you bring a tiger's come to your house, you will have disaster. You shouldn't have opened the subject.
So.
Next time you don't open it.
I haven't lost anything. I'm just.
Don't open it next time.
You know that you see me. If I'm to interrupt you, you can't talk here.
You did that.
Oh yes.
Have you forgotten that you interrupted me many times? Have you forgotten? The one who delivers a slap forgets. The one who received it knows that you got it.
Yeah, you see, when it comes to taxation, I don't think there's any country or any human being who like to be taxed. Even from the Bible and other scriptures, people don't normally want to be taxed. And it's so true with countries, especially contemporary nations. People are rather forced or compelled to pay their taxes. And like your mama said some time ago, he said taxes are the only things that we use to develop the people. He said the tip is around. And if you look at the sub-region, we are one of the low. You see, when they're talking about taxation, we have put so many taxes. Look at the NDC people talking. As if when it comes to taxation, we have seen you people. We know who the NDC are. We have seen the number, the ubiquitous taxes that you impose on the good people of this country, including cutlasses, condoms, all manner of untold taxes. And they will hypocritically, because they are desperate for power, come and sit here and pretend to love the people. Can you imagine that? I'm saying that their leader himself, John Mahama, Mr. Mahama, had made that point clear that it is only taxes that we can use to develop the people. But the people don't want to pay taxes. When it comes to the sub-region, we are one of the lowest. Look, tax to GDP, the average in the sub-region is about 16%. Ghana, we are hovering around 13 and 12%. If you go to South Africa, they are over 20%, 21, 20, up close to 25%. Tax to GDP. Indeed, when the MPP, when we were campaigning in 2016, we said that when we come, we will move this nation from taxation to production. And we made good of our promise. You see, when they just throw it out there, as if the MPP said it and didn't do anything about it. These are hypocrites. When they get the opportunity, they will pretend to be the lovers of the people. Didn't the MPP remove those nuisance taxes? So when you talk about production, taxation to production, mention that indeed when they came, they removed and reduced about 17 different taxes. 17 different taxes that were imposed on the good people of this country by the NDC. We remove all those taxes. Some of these VATs that we are talking about, on medicine, 70.5% of medicine that is not produced in Ghana, we've removed all those things. The real estate, VAT, and all those things.
17 different, close to 18. And indeed, you see, some of them we do not remove, but we reduce the rate. Indeed, if you look at this VAT on those who consume above the lifeline, this one is not just for anybody at all. They said that consumption above lifeline. But even the implementation, nobody is saying that, oh, it will be implemented. If the TUC or some other group decide that they will go and talk, knowing very well that the thing in itself is not going to be implemented, they are wasting their time. If government want to implement this thing, you know the way government will go about it. So it doesn't take. It will not take the ECG to say that the implementation operations and those things will be difficult. No, all those things would have been done. And I'm happy when he was talking, he mentioned the IMF. The IMF wants government to increase its revenue. So as it were, I mean, people are tapping on all manner of areas to see what the revenue could be created from those areas. But I am saying that government have not implemented the VAT rate of 15% on those above lifeline consumers. For you to now come and say that these people are wicked, they are this. I see it is being implemented, and people are railing under it. So let's be very, very careful. The ECG says it will not be implemented. Government itself has not been forceful with its implementation. It tells you one thing. Let nobody go and say, "Oh, we decided we've enforced and government not to bring it, and that was the reason why government didn't bring it." This thing is, I mean, is no brainer that this VAT thing is not going to be implemented. But I can understand the NDC and the desperation. So they harp on non-issues. Sometimes they create them themselves and then bring them into the public domain and try to create disaffection for government. I mean, we all know, even if government decides to look for revenue avenues, you know, or revenue handles in order to increase our revenue over the next 1 or 2 years, government will be methodically about it. It's not just the finance minister who will just come and say that implement this whimsically. It doesn't happen like that. Because Parliament itself will have to even look at it. It has to go through stakeholder consultations. It has to go through a lot of stages, even including the PURC, before it is implemented. But to come and sit here, government introduce this number. I mean, when we talk about taxations, you want to compare NDC that tax the people and tax them to hell. You want to compare the NDC, the insipid NDC that Ghanaians rejected and thrown away. You want to compare them to the current government. I'm telling you that currently as you are speaking, we all know that the devastating effect of COVID-19 has ravaged every economy, and these people are taking advantage of that. And these people are taking advantage of that. You see, anywhere that they go, they want to create the impression that, oh, the hardship was brought by Akufo-Addo. If you go to every country, even the developed countries, all of them, no country in the world is enjoying its economy post-COVID.
There are two. Thank you very much, Saka. There are two members of Parliament of the NDC who have been blacklisted on Pan-African television. I just thought it's important to let you know.
Blacklist all of them, Masa.
Yes,
blacklist all of them. Because what they come here to do.
West.
Why?
They've been blacklisted.
No. Let's get the list again.
I said Jirapa and Sisala West.
Why have they been blacklisted? These are my brothers.
EC proposes November for general elections.
But these are my brothers.
EC proposes November for general elections. How do you share? I'm not disregarding you, but
I'm the ranking member of communications because of my relationship with
Oh, horrible.
Yes.
You are just pierced an arrow through our hearts. you know our special relationship with these two gentlemen.
I am a fraternal member.
We all have a very special relationship.
No, that's for that one.
So
you see, let me tell you something. There's something.
Hold on.
There's something we have done.
Agree that we will discuss it after the show.
That is
then the show
why
will continue.
let us discuss it.
There's something that we have done.
Yes.
That you are not even aware that we did.
Okay.
And it is.
We are aware. If you not have listen.
It is precisely the admission that you are a founding member of Pan-African Television.
Yes.
There's a decision we took.
Yes.
I'm also a founding member.
I appreciate that.
That
is why I think that a matter like this, you should have started it off me and let's look at it. If there's a legitimate basis, I will not know that.
I mean, you see, the thing is that the things which were done to us were done on air.
Okay.
And so I will use the same medium to say that we are blacklisted.
Yes, so I mean, that's why I wish that.
You can't admit that you are coming on a platform.
Okay.
Okay, you don't show up.
Okay.
My producers give you a call.
Okay.
You don't pick their calls.
Okay.
You don't return their calls.
Okay.
And the next moment you are on WhatsApp. The next moment your number is busy. The next moment you are doing this. You are disrespecting my station.
Okay.
And when you disrespect the station will blacklist you. It's very simple.
But I think they will come and apologize.
No matter how
you don't need
the mother dog is, it doesn't bite the puppy to the bone.
Oh, but I had a dog that actually ate the puppy.
It's unusual.
So I'll be visiting Japan Dubai anyway.
So Kwame,
I like the hotel.
I'm sure that this is a matter we can engage.
And the MP should host you.
Kwame, let's finish with the topic.
Easy proposes November for general elections, and I don't know whether to start with Honorable Osaka.
You said
I'm afraid no. After this man, I don't know whether we interject him. There's no.
Start with him.
No, but when I interject you, you can't talk.
No, you start with me.
I won't start with you. Let me start with the shark.
Kwame,
You bad man.
You start with me.
Kwame, the issue should not just be proposing.
Okay, let me say something. Yesterday I told you something. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago?
As for me and you, we've been discussing a lot of things.
Yeah. So I'll allow you to speak. Proceed. On this same matter, do you remember?
Well, little bit.
On this same, I said, and Saka is here. He may disagree with me. He may even say that I'm NDC for saying what I'm about to say. But MPP, if you joke with them, they are very smart and strategic. You know, there's what we call religious strategy, and there's political strategy. You see, Saka was trying to play the religious card.
Yes.
And Honorable sought to interject with immediacy. No, I'm just saying something. I just want you to understand that you must, in bringing together all your strategy for the 2024 election, appreciate all the other facets of the strategy.
Sure.
There's religious, there's purely political, there's economic, there's social. You understand what I'm saying? So if you, and in fact, there's actually security strategy. So if you don't look at all these various departments and before you know them, because
they will not succeed.
The elections in December 7th has been it's perennial. It's something that we've done. In fact, there were proposals in the beginning, I think in 2020 or so, right? ECI proposed that we should shift it to
2016.
2016. That, you know, that
under Charlotte was said.
Oh, okay, it was under Charlotte was said. But the way
my point
things are,
is
anyway, let me allow you.
The question I ask is,
let me allow you.
why is the electoral commission?
No.
Okay, all right.
Why is the electoral
my views?
Kwame, why is the electoral
yours.
commission proposing for the elections to be held in November instead of the December 7th date that has been established over time? There should be a basis for that. For me, the electoral commission, as we all know it, has a mandate to conduct and supervise elections. They are responsible for compiling a voters register, coming up with whatever modalities are necessary for ensuring that elections are held, declared, and all of that. Beyond that, what is the role of the electoral commission? And so when the electoral commission talks about shifting elections from December to November for issues of transition or whatever, issues of transition are not within the purview of the electoral commission. You know that. Issues of transition are not within the purview of the Electoral Commission, and so not part of the mandate of the Electoral Commission. So the institutions or authorities that have a role to play as far as issues of transition are concerned should be talking about buying enough time to ensure a smooth transition.
Yep.
But in any case, who says that there have been anything empirical to the effect that the transition after holding elections in December has been hampered by one thing or the other? We must be speaking based on some observations that are quite empirical and things that we can speak to. So for me, I want to see the reasons for which the Electoral Commission says that the elections should be held in November instead of December. I really have not seen any.
There are reasons.
I said I have not seen.
Kwame should read those.
I said I have not seen.
You say SDA people.
The,
or something,
yeah,
something.
the
No,
SDA. but it's one of them.
Why? Well, elections in 1996 or so. The elections in 1996 were held on a Saturday.
You have even held elections on Friday before.
It was on a Saturday. You understand? So for me, some of these things.
And they talk about a transition period.
So just because of
in
one day.
2016, the discussion was about a transitional period.
Yeah.
So that's
that the same. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Is this the Electoral Commission that is responsible for transition? No. When the Electoral Commission declares elections, and we have a winner, that is the Electoral Commission's mandate is finished.
There's a transitional team.
Exactly. So the transitional team should be talking about the time factor as far as the period of holding the elections.
But they are saying that when
it's not an autocratic.
That it affords them opportunity.
I think
if there is a runoff for them
to also, it's one of them. But I think
that makes sense.
So when you guys went to IPAC, what was the decision?
Well, I've never been a member of IPAC.
Okay, so but honorable, I don't know whether, but you know, but your party.
But when you throw in,
we need to know what the party thinks.
When you throw in that element of the possibility of a runoff, I think that it makes sense to me. But that alone cannot be a basis for
justification.
Exactly. That's what that's why I was premising my decision on the fact that we need reasons why the Electoral Commission should be the one proposing the elections to be held in November instead of in December. You understand? Yeah. Because issues of transition are not within the purview of the Electoral Commission. There's a transitional team put in place, and indeed, I think that there has been a transition act that has been passed into law or something that details all those who are involved in the transition and how the transition should proceed.
Let's look at the conduct of the Electoral Commission this year. Do you think that it's better than it was in 2016?
Why? If we
2020?
No. Well, the Electoral Commission, there's the Electoral Commission that is still talking about taking away indelible ink. I don't know how the use of indelible ink hampers or the use of indelible ink militates against the work of the Electoral Commission. Why? If you take away the indelible ink, what do you achieve? If you use the indelible ink, how does it affect the elections? So why would the Electoral Commission say that we should not use an indelible ink? And I listened to Professor Michael Okoye tell the Electoral Commissioner to be very careful, because we have not reached that point yet. Because if you have malfunctioning, those devices, verification machines that are not unable to determine whether someone has voted or not, and you say that we should take away indelible ink, indelible ink that adds up to a certain layer of verification and all of that, how people get to know that somebody has voted or has not voted, and you say that we should take away that particular security layer. I just don't understand this particular Electoral Commission.
Okay. Saka?
Yeah. Kwame, thank you very much. I was going through my... your phone is making noise. I was...
See, it is only a man who cannot perform his conjugal duties who blames it on errant mosquito.
Saka, proceed.
I was just going through my Facebook to see if I could get the argument I made in 2016 against the November 7th. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not going to say, because maybe times have changed, my position will also change. No. I have a particular reason why I'm opposed to 7th. I was very happy in 2008, the transition that went on, because it took like 3 or so days.
Yep.
I had one particular person because of my anti-graft background, I don't want a situation where an African government will get an opportunity to sit for so long a period after losing an election. This argument is not just about MPP, it has nothing to do with MPP or NDC, because this was the argument I made in 2016. That, imagine, because look at US, their transitional period, very long period, but you see their structure is different. You cannot go and massage figures, you cannot go and cover your tracks. But you see, if you Nigeria, for instance, their transitional period is also very long. That's the reason why people do all manner of things and then cover their tracks. And sometimes, even as they have lost election and are waiting to be, and a new president is waiting to be sworn in, they are doing all manner of appointments because they believe their mandate has not ended. Until they are out of office, their mandate has not ended. So it is against that background that I believe that a transitional period should be very, very short, so that by the time they say, Jack, you have already handed over, so that you won't get the opportunity to undo a lot of things that will unearth, or for you to do things that will make you stay relevant even in the future. We have seen, even though our transitional period is very short, we have seen what your mama did with the appointment of all manner of people, during the transitional period.
What is
including the Auditor General,
when does the mandate of the president end?
Oh,
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I see. I don't know. That's the argument I'm making. Even on the system. Oh, you see, you are just making unnecessary arguments.
What are you talking about?
You are making unnecessary arguments.
I'll come to you.
I believe. You see, even on the 6th of January, you are still mandate. You are still the president. But you see, the spirit of the Transitional Act fronts on it. The spirit of the Transitional Act front on it, because you are a lame duck. And therefore, there are certain major decisions when you are taking, it has to be taken in cahoot or with the knowledge of the incoming administration. But I'm saying that in Africa, we are so bad when it comes to democracy, to the extent that if you give a transitional period, like you vote in on November, and then a government happen to lose an election. Imagine November, December, January, 2 months. What do you think will happen if you have a president like John Mahama, who want to do all manner of appointment and then go away, give all manner of box size to the brothers, do all manner of things. Look, don't say look.
That he gave
can you let us talk?
What happened?
Can you let us talk?
Why? No, but you don't peddle for
Can you let us talk?
You are trying to mislead.
But these things were overturned by the Supreme Court.
Which Supreme Court? And the Supreme Court said that President Mahama gave it to him. They are overturning it.
Where he was the president. Wasn't he the president?
Your lame duck president.
Wasn't he the president?
Your lame duck president who is sitting down.
I will interject you. You see, but the other arguments as to if there is a runoff, maybe the Electoral Commission will get the opportunity to plan it well and all those. I think all those things were factored in. We have had several runoffs in the past. The Electoral Commission has, rose to the task then. So I just cannot, understand why things should change this time. I think that the November, even on the religious ground cries, is look, we Muslims, Friday is so sacred. Today is so sacred that me, I wouldn't want to wish my Muslim brother bad. It's so sacred that we uphold its sanctity. But if there is an election today, We will go and vote. We will go to the mosque, fine. And from the mosque, then we just pass there and vote and then go away. So why would anybody say that you cannot vote? You cannot vote on Saturday?
Let's hear from you, sir.
Kwame.
Yes, sir.
When you have your anus stuck full of cotton wool, you don't jump over bonfire.
Oh dear Lord.
This man
who
is talking about lame duck. Lame duck making appointments. You see how the man is busy packing pots, packing everything. Lame duck president, Akufo-Addo. He knows that.
Over a year to election, you call the
president. He's a lame duck president.
Over
you know
a year
to election, you know that. He himself is convinced that he's going out. Not only his party is going out.
He's going,
so
but the party will remain.
His party, they are going
I'm saying that he's going, but the party
but not even the biggest miracle.
The party will remain.
You will never sustain power.
You are God.
But
you are God.
Kwame, he was challenging me about some new taxes.
Oh, I didn't challenge you. You talk.
I told him that he said, look, there are many taxes. Emission. I mentioned the emission tax, the electricity tax we are talking about. There's VAT, Kwame. Now there's VAT on rent. Rent. Many people, Ghanaians, they will cry, mama, when they get the full gamut of what is coming. Now there's VAT on rent. If you go to pay rent, you, the person paying the rent, you pay VAT. Are you aware of that? Never in the annals of our country's history. When you sell a house now, you are going to pay VAT. Wow. There are monstrous policies this government is imposing. There are VAT on exercise books.
So?
Kwame, exercise books you buy for poor school children to go to school. You will pay VAT. VAT on textbooks.
It has always been on.
Well, it has never been there. Those
you people even
taxes as part of the gamut of wicked taxes.
You people introduce VAT on food.
Terrible taxes are hopelessly uninspiring wicked government. So, Master, don't talk about your wickedness. Is
I am saying even restaurants.
Ghanaians know you. You see where he's busy interjecting. He doesn't see any problem with it.
I'm retaliating.
Go ahead. I have no problem. You can go ahead.
But even food. Common food.
You see? Wicked,
common food. You put VAT on
the food index. The food index is the highest, over 122%.
If you go to the restaurant,
it's part of the VAT. We say
the NDC.
I said there are the VAT.
You pay VAT.
122%. Never in the annals of our country's history. Food price index, and then you're hopelessly incompetent and hopelessly uninspiring government. Kwame,
yes sir. He's debating me. He's not talking to me.
Kwame, I don't know what the EC. You see, that's why I said that.
Why you want to talk about this? You
are given a task to perform. You have left what you are performing, and you are into other areas that are not within your domain. Like brilliantly captured by my brother here, Audu Ishak. Do transitional matters fall within the remit of the EC? You have no business talking about transitional matters. They say do the elections before we go to transition. We don't do transition before the elections. Do we do transition before the elections? So they are putting the cart before the horse. This is part of the incompetence of the EC. This current crop of EC people.
No, you can disagree with them, but they're not incompetent.
Incompetent. Why? In the last election, they pronounced the election result 5 times.
But
what is that?
What is that?
Have you ever heard it?
There has never been any.
Have you ever heard that under any issue?
Yeah.
Massa.
Under the.
Afghanistan never made that kind of.
No, there has always been.
He never did that.
Because the
results are always. On the day he announced the results, that's the results.
He
has never changed the results.
Based on professional.
Yes.
And after that,
he has never changed it.
When you
let me make my
results.
So Kwame,
definitely more results will come. Then you change the other one.
Why are they trying to revisit taking the election back to November? I have not heard the reason. If they give any reason, what is the reason?
So
they gave reasons.
Yeah, what is the reason?
No, they said that in the event. No, they said no, not transition. He said in the event there's a runoff, they will get.
We have always done under Farijan. We did December 7th. I lie.
But the population.
We even went 3 elections. You remember?
We even did January 10th.
We did 3 elections under Farijan before we determined the president. But we did December 7th. Where did you go?
Why are you talking to me like
you are part of the argument?
Am I the easy? I even supported your point.
I think we should.
So Kwame, I'm not convinced by those reasons. Look, if the thing ain't broken, don't fix it. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't heard any tangible argument to the contrary that December 7 is not a suitable day for that to hold elections. So if it is not broken, don't attempt to fix it. And the things that the EC is supposed to fix, that's why I say that they have given you something to carry, you leave it and go and carry something else. Why? The EC is engaged in an act of crass lawlessness.
Yeah.
Kwame, I this thing came in Parliament, and remember I spoke about this on the floor of Parliament. Kwame, the use of indelible ink is not at the discretion of the EC. It's law. And the EC will not be allowed, let them be aware. We will not allow them that where there are matters of law, they convert it into matters of discretion. They will not be allowed. The use of indelible ink is a matter of law. Kwame, and I'll quote, that one is LI 127, section 33 2C. Go and read it. It's law that you will make a mark that to all intents and purposes is indelible on the voter. That is what that provision seeks. And in the last district assembly, the EC decided to violate that law. You see, that is the capriciousness of the EC and the Jimesa and Bosman. This is what they are doing at the Electoral Commission. It is not at their discretion. It's law. And they have a bounden duty to respect the law and comply with the law. The Electoral Commission is not above the law. And so if the law make provision that you should make that indelible mark on voters, why would you choose to use your discretion to put it aside and impose yourself on the law? I think it's unacceptable. And I think that all of us should ensure that there's compliance with the law. Look, it is okay for every religious persuasion or group to say that maybe a particular date is not suitable for them. I will not quarrel with that, because they would want a situation where on that day their members are not tied down by the religious obligation to the point that some of them may not go and exercise their franchise. So it is fine, but don't take it that because that is also a of necessity means that you must shift it to another date. Saka even just said that. Why? You can even go to church and come and vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can even vote before you go to church.
Yeah.
Depending on which hour you go to church.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I go to follow that argument, if they bring it on Friday, will Muslims be justified in saying that that date is not suitable for us as Muslims? So take it away. If they bring it to the main Sunday, main frontline Christians will say that, oh, on Sunday, as Christians, we are bound to be in church. All of us cannot go and vote because we'll be in church.
And they are proposing Tuesday. They have forgotten about the traditional believers.
Traditionalists.
Yeah, they are Tuesdays and Saturdays.
So every one of the 7 days, can be problematic for one group or the other.
Yeah.
So on the basis of that score, I think that whenever the date falls, and this is not predetermined, it just says it's December 7th. It may fall on any date. This is not determined by the Electoral Commission to fall on a particular date.
Yeah.
It's 7th of December. 7th of December, this 4 years can fall on a Wednesday. Next time it can fall on a Tuesday. It can fall on a Monday or Friday or Saturday. So these are not predetermined days on which it will fall, except that the date is fixed.
And they are proposing that day to be holiday too. That one, they are agree with them.
The holiday bit.
Which holiday?
The voting day to the holiday.
Ghana, already how many holidays do you have?
But we need their
We
voting.
should take some off.
We should take some off. The election day should be holiday.
Why should the election day be holiday?
So that everybody can get the opportunity.
I don't think that is the best. Well,
But that day will be there will be productivity even if we don't make it holiday.
So leave it like that. If you yourself are saying that day is even holiday, even though it's not recognized as holiday, so what are you doing?
So recognize it.
Thank you very much.
So recognize it.
So Kwame, I think that we should and these are matters for me. If the Electoral Commission is minded to be meticulous under any circumstance, I just told you under Dr. Kojo Afarijan. In before President Mills became president, we voted 3 times alive. We voted the main one, went for a runoff, and went to time. You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. We did all those things within that December 7th time frame. Because of the competence of the Electoral Commission, we did not have any problem with that.
Let me read a few messages here.
So that's why I said that if you can't perform your conjugal mutation in the night, then you blame it on errant mosquitoes.
Our pockets are already being taxed. E-levy is charged anytime we take Momo from the bank account. That's from Vic Amek. Then Dave Ackley says, KOD, I think it's within the remit of your powers as a moderator to put Saka to order by continuing trying to do religious politics, just like his boss Baumia. I think Ghana is a Christian-dominated nation, and should Christians also want to wage campaign against any other candidate of a different religion, I don't think it will be healthy
don't go there
for the nation.
Why are you a Christian?
The MPP and its communicators should rather
I'm a Muslim.
base their argument on the competence instead of religion. Good morning to you, and good morning very much. Edward Dugbaja says, KOD, that Saka is not being serious this morning. He always comes to tell Kukwanasi stories. Wow. Saka, when Kufo was exiting office, he introduced single spine.
No. Kufo didn't introduce
and
it.
gave parole to prisoners and so many other
Kufo didn't
policies. Think
introduce
about
it.
all of that. John Bauer, that from Seth Abuchi. John Bauer at the Duni Robert says, I'm not surprised Saka is making faulty comment on John Mahama. It's MPP. Michael Buaben Dako says, you see what the two are doing. When the tables turn, it will be the opposite. They are just not serious. Michael Alpha says, good morning to you, Kwame. I'm Mohammed Alpha Schwarzenegger from Wa. Please, Kwame, don't allow people who don't know about his own party come and speak on your show. Sandra Wilson says MPP members do not even let old men speak. Hey, he's an old man. Maybe he's not an old man. No. Mahime Dominic says, good morning to you, Paravega TV. Easy proposes by Ghanaians disposes. In fact, a big no. We'll still stand for our December 7th elections. Sandra Wilson again comes back and says they want to have more time to steal our money because they know they are losing 2024 elections. Thank you, Honorable Ebi Husseini. Thank you, Saka. Thank you very much, Audi Shak, for your time this morning. I'm sorry I couldn't continue because it's 10:05. I'm saying that as far as I'm concerned.
The first person to tell you.
Oh no, please. Why? Small demonstration will go and no free work.
No, I'm just giving them.
No, you don't give.
Tell them that I'm
don't give. Don't give. Let me. It's okay. He's not. Please don't describe him as an old man again. I don't want to be disgraced on air. But I told you that there are two NDC MPs that we have banned.
Kwame,
and I think all my presenters are in agreement. Not
Kwame, no. In fact, this is a matter I intend to engage.
All of them are in agreement.
No.
My producers are in agreement. My producers are in agreement.
I forgot something. Tomorrow we are voting.
Okay. Oh yes, please.
For our MPs.
Oh, that reminds me. My very good friend Hanan is there. Pusiga.
Hanan is unopposed.
Okay, then okay.
But you see, Henry Kote.
Henry Kote is contesting, Oh, okay.
So we are taking this opportunity.
Well, are you Henry Kote supporter?
Yeah. I support him. He's my brother.
Who took you in the line?
It doesn't matter. He's still my brother. So we are taking this opportunity.
Is this still the regional minister?
Yeah, he's the regional minister. I mean, currently he's the best regional minister in Ghana.
Where did you arrive at that?
Oh yeah, I mean, why?
Saka, I asked you very specific. I said,
all of he's been silent.
Hold on, come on. Let me ask Saka.
He will not be happy with you.
Saka,
so
our regional minister.
I'm saying Henry Kote is the best regional minister. So what's
he still?
Otherwise, he's also a region, and we have a minister.
And I'm saying Henry Kote is the best regional minister in Ghana. So what's your problem?
Is he still the regional minister?
Oh yes, of course, he's the regional minister.
He's still the regional minister.
Yes.
With all the problems.
Is he still the regional
minister? Don't worry. We will talk to you.
You are surprised, eh? The things I know.
But
we are supporting him.
No, it's how well want to cause disaffection for me. in the Upper West. So helicopter is number 1 and Hafiz is number 2.
The thing about their primary school, because they know they have lost power and they will protect out. There are a lot of government appointees and
they are contesting. Don't go yet. Wait, I have to
to the vice president. Even the spokesperson to the vice president. There's a security of their MP.
Okay, so hold on.
Okay.
All right. Hold your guns. Hold on. Saka, wait.
When we put you out,
Honorable,
looking for security.
Honorable, wait. Saka, wait.
He knows.
Tomorrow, wait. Tomorrow, MPP will be what is it? Electing or selecting? Electing. Voting. Okay. So this all the orphan constituency. This line.
We'll finish that one on the 4th.
But I wish Hanan very well. Hanan, I wish him very well. Chinya. Okay. But I said that the station has blacklisted 2 NDC MPs. And Sisala West and Jirapa. So the show has ended. But you said Henry is still the MP. Oh, we are done.